The year is 2081. The world has achieved equality. But this is not the equality of opportunity, of striving for a better life. This is the equality of outcome, enforced by the heavy hand of the government. No one is allowed to be smarter, stronger, or more beautiful than anyone else. To achieve this equality, the Handicapper General, a stern woman named Diana Moon Glampers, enforces a series of handicaps. These are not opportunities for improvement, but rather burdens meant to drag everyone down to the lowest common denominator. The strong wear weights to hinder their movements. The intelligent endure earpieces that blast jarring noises, disrupting their thoughts. The beautiful hide their faces behind grotesque masks. This is the world into which Harrison Bergeron is born. It is a world that seeks to eliminate competition, aspiration, and even joy itself. It is a world where the human spirit is stifled, all in the name of an impossible ideal. Harrison Bergeron is no ordinary child. Even as a young boy, his intelligence is remarkable, his strength unmatched, and his natural grace and beauty impossible to ignore. He towers over his peers, his mind races ahead of even the most learned professors, and his very presence seems to radiate an aura of brilliance. Harrison is a stark contrast to the dull, lifeless citizens around him. He sees the world with clarity, recognizing the absurdity and injustice of the enforced equality. He feels the weight of the handicaps not just on his body, but on his soul. As Harrison grows, so too do his extraordinary abilities. He becomes a symbol of everything the government fears: individuality, excellence, and the potential for greatness. And within him, a fire begins to burn, a fire that refuses to be extinguished by the oppressive laws of his time. The government, recognizing the threat Harrison poses, heaps handicaps upon him. Heavy weights are shackled to his limbs, a mask obscures his handsome features, and his ears are bombarded with a cacophony of sounds designed to disrupt his thoughts. But even these extreme measures cannot contain Harrison's extraordinary spirit. Each day, Harrison endures the burden of his handicaps, but his spirit remains unbroken. He yearns for a world where he can be himself, where he can use his gifts without fear of punishment. He dreams of a world where others can also cast off their handicaps and embrace their individuality. Harrison's defiance grows with each passing day. He refuses to be defined by the limitations imposed upon him. He knows that true equality lies not in suppressing individuality, but in celebrating the unique talents and abilities of every human being. One fateful night, Harrison Bergeron takes his stand. He escapes from the detention center where he has been imprisoned for his abnormal abilities. Bursting into a live television studio, he disrupts a broadcast of mind-numbing mediocrity. The citizens of America watch transfixed as Harrison throws off his handicaps one by one. With each clang of metal hitting the floor, Harrison sheds the shackles of oppression. He reveals his true self to the world, a magnificent specimen of humanity, tall, strong, and graceful. With a voice that booms like thunder, he declares his intention to overthrow the government and create a world where everyone is free to be themselves. The air crackles with the electricity of Harrison's defiance. His words, his actions are a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in forced mediocrity. For a brief, shining moment, the people of 2081 catch a glimpse of what true freedom could look like. The government's response is swift and brutal. Diana Moon Glampers, the Handicapper General herself, storms into the television studio, armed and dangerous. Her eyes, cold and calculating, reflect the government's absolute intolerance for dissent. Glampers represents everything Harrison rebels against: control, conformity, and the suppression of individuality. She sees Harrison's rebellion as a threat to the very order she has fought so hard to establish, and she will stop at nothing to eliminate that threat. The joy that had momentarily flickered in the eyes of the viewers is extinguished as Glampers raises her weapon. Fear grips the nation as they realize that Harrison's rebellion, this brief shining moment of hope, is about to be crushed before their very eyes.